If you're thinking, boy, I don't even know what happened this year, but I'm tired, like you've just been busy surviving the entire year, but you never quite had the time to make sense of what was happening, you're not alone and you're not imagining it. I've learned that what wears people down the most isn't what you can't see. It's the invisible weight of the year, the emotional labor, the cognitive load, the constant juggling of decisions, the caregiving, finances, calendars, self-doubt, and trying to look like you're holding it together. That's what takes the real toll. But the mistake that we make is we evaluate our year solely based on what we produced, not what we carried. So the first thing that I do when closing out a heavy year is to measure the load as well, not just the output, but the load. List it all, not just the goals, but also the burdens, the things that didn't make it to the planner but shaped my everyday life, day in, day out, like the time you were caring for someone while working, or the mental weight of being the emotional hub of your family, or the constant micro decisions that added up, like managing doctor's appointments and anticipating everyone's needs, keeping the fridge stocked, and remembering to send a birthday text. Once we name those things, the guilt starts to lose their grip. Why? Because we see what we actually went through. Next, separate effort from outcome. As a scientist, I know that sometimes, even though the experiment is sound, it is pristine, the results do not come out as expected. They just don't. And that's not failure, that's life. This year, I had projects that didn't go according to plan. I had routines that fell apart, but I showed up and that counts. I stayed present and that counts for something. I did my part. And I refuse to grade myself only on my results. So I ask, what did I stay through even when it was hard? That's a different kind of data. It's the kind that honors the process, our work, our commitment, and not just the performance of getting things done. Then I name the wins that don't fit on a spreadsheet. These are the kinds of wins that define resilience, that define commitment, like choosing to rest even though it felt lazy, or say no when I knew I would disappoint someone else, or cooking a real dinner on a day that your brain just feels like static. These wins matter because they show you who you are becoming, not just what you were doing or what you were achieving. I keep a note on my phone and I jot these things down weekly or monthly, not for productivity's sake, but for perspective, just so I know how much I'm actually doing, how much I'm actually given. And then finally, I name the year, not to brand it or decorate it, but to close it shut. Some years are for planting, others are for pruning. This year might have been about letting go or surviving or slowly rebuilding, right? My word for this year was rebuilding. Not because things are finally settled or everything is fine now, no, but because I just stopped trying to go back to what was. I stopped trying to go back to the time before I became a mother. I stopped trying to go back to the time when my time was all mine and my energy was all mine. I stopped going back and started rebuilding something new. When you name your year, you honor the shape that it took. You don't have to learn from every single chapter of your year, but you honor it. You honor the shape that it took. So if this year was a lot and you are exhausted and unsure and a little tender going into January, you're not broken. You're just a human who made it through a hard season, and your life looks like you made it through a hard season. You don't need to finish this year strong. You just need to finish with self-compassion. That's all that you need to do. If this video helped you, stick around. This next video is a soft reset, a simple system to help you start next year from rest, not from burnout. Let's walk into the year gently, with clarity, with rest, and not with pressure to get it right next year because of how hard this year was.